Welcome to I'm Okay Being a Karen. My name is Sterling, and here we talk about daily life, real situations, and the exact moments that test my patience. So grab your coffee and join the conversation. Have you ever pulled into a gas station for what should be a 5-minute stop and somehow leave 30 minutes later wanting to fight everyone in the building? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. Now, I'm not talking about a flat tire or even a broken pump. I'm talking about stopping for $25 worth of gas and watching a gas station try to authorize $225 out of my bank account. And before anyone says, well, that's just how it works, let me tell you, I think that's complete nonsense. Now, I'm about 2 hours from home, heading to a short getaway. I'm looking forward to spending time on the beach and relaxing the days away. When I pulled into a gas station as the gas prices were much lower than any of the other stations for the next several miles, I expected this to be a quick stop, as my car only takes about $25 to fill the tank. The first pump I pulled up to, I entered my debit card and scanned my loyalty card. However, when I went to pump gas, nothing happened. So I canceled the sale and moved to a different pump. I got out of my car and went to authorize the pump and got a message that we all hate. See cashier. What the heck was going on? So I walked through the pouring rain into the store and got in line behind another customer. While I stood there feeling a little put out, I pulled up my bank account. Lo and behold, my balance was zero. How the heck could this be? I just transferred $150 into my account. I was only going to need $25. And nothing spikes my blood pressure quite like opening my bank account, seeing every penny gone. This is where the only humor of this situation comes in. I was trying to remain calm after seeing my bank balance at zero and then seeing that the gas station authorized $188 at the first pump, every cent I had. When I got to the cashier, I recounted what happened and showed her my bank balance was zero and how much had been authorized with no purchase. It was then that the cashier said, "Oh, it'll release back into your account in a few minutes." So I said, "Okay, I'll wait here for a few minutes." Then she said, "How much gas do you want to pay for on pump 14? I answered, "My account is zero. How am I supposed to pay for anything at this point?" It was then that I noticed another woman behind the counter move from the far right to directly behind the woman I was talking to. She tried to look like she was simply using the back counter to work on something. She was that magical person who appears when a customer starts complaining. They don't come over with a solution. They come over as emotional backup for the other employee. To that, my thoughts were, "Ma'am, unless you can release the money your company just grabbed from my checking account, I really don't need an audience." So back to my situation. When the woman behind the counter said for a second time, "The money will release back into your account in a few minutes, but it may take an hour," I thought to myself, yeah, right. You see, when you use a debit card at a gas station pump, the station doesn't know how much gas you're actually going to buy. So instead of authorizing $20, maybe $30, they place what's called a pending authorization. A pending authorization isn't technically a charge. It's basically the gas station telling your bank, "Hey, we might need up to this amount." The problem is that while it's not a charge, your bank treats it as if the money was unavailable. So whether they call it a pending authorization, a hold, or temporary verification, the result is the same to the customer. your available balance drops by that amount immediately. And if you don't have that much in your bank account, that can create a real problem. So again, back to my story. Because I needed gas to get back on the road, I transferred $25 from my savings to cover the gas. You see, right now, with a tough economy, everything is going up in price, while most wages are not. This leaves a lot of families living paycheck to paycheck that weren't a year or two ago. What if that money had been grocery money? What if I didn't have a savings account that I could tap into? What if I were traveling with children? And on and on and on. For me, this situation was beyond irritating. For someone else, it could mean not having money for dinner, medicine, or getting home. Several hours later, after I arrived at my destination, I'm getting ready to settle in for the night. That's when I see it. An email from my bank saying a $225 authorization had been attempted. Suddenly, I'm pissed all over again. Because now I know I didn't imagine it. It wasn't a glitch. Someone actually thought that a Hyundai Veloster needed enough gas to fuel a small aircraft. So here's the question. Was I being a Karen? I don't think so. See, a Karen complains because she wants special treatment. I was complaining because a company attempted to tie up $225 of my money for a purchase that never happened. There's a difference between being unreasonable and expecting basic common sense. And that leads me to the lesson I learned. Next time, if I'm in an unfamiliar gas station, I'm probably walking inside and paying at the counter. Not because it's convenient, and certainly not because I like standing in line, but because I'd rather spend 5 minutes walking inside to a cashier than spend 5 hours wondering where my money went and 7 days, yes, a week, waiting for it to get put back into my bank account. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of I'm Okay Being a Karen. Remember, having standards doesn't make you a Karen. Expecting basic decency isn't asking too much. If you've ever walked away from a situation thinking, am I the problem or are people just getting worse? Then you're in the right place. Be sure to follow this podcast, leave a rating, drop a comment, and share it with someone who will appreciate a little common sense. And if you've got a story that brought out your inner Karen, send it to me at the email address in the notes. Your story might become a future episode. My name is Sterling, and I will see you next time on I'm Okay Being a Karen.